we are going to move on to a question on flooding. It's a topic that was a major concern among viewers who we heard from. Brendan Clark is standing by with that viewer question. Brendan.
Riley, thanks. Flooding, a top concern for all Charlestonians, but global warming and rising sea levels around the world cannot be stopped by one city's mayor. You have both called this an existential crisis. Let's now go to a question from Luke, who lives in the Wagener Terrace neighborhood. Luke says, much of the Wagener Terrace neighborhood downtown is far enough above sea level that storm surge shouldn't be a problem. However, the streets flood badly when there's a downpour. Mr. Tecklenburg, when and how do you plan on fixing the old drains so this type of flooding is mitigated? You have 60 seconds.
So there are flooding risks of all kinds. There's surge, there's stormwater, there's tidal. When we have a big rainfall and it's a high tide, in low-lying areas, and even in Wagener Terrace, it can be hard for stormwater to get out. So part of the perimeter protection plan is to take into account these other types of flooding risks. In some cases, it involves upsizing our pipes, even adding pumps. The proposal recommends 10 pumps added around the perimeter of the peninsula of Charleston in various locations. But you have to include all the flooding risks, including tidal and sea level rise as well. We expect over the next 27 years to see an additional 14 or 15-inch increase in sea level rise. And that impact has to be taken into account for our flooding and stormwater strategies as well. It is being.
Mr. Cogswell, same question to you. When and how do you plan on fixing the old drains to help when it comes to the problem of flooding? 60 seconds.
Absolutely. One of my biggest issues on this is action versus planning, and particularly when it comes to deferred maintenance. And we have a lot of deferred maintenance. What this individual is talking about in Wagener Terrace, I believe, is just cleaning out drainage ditches, which the city has been trying to do, but it has not had the attention, frankly, that it needs, clearly. So now we're talking about these Army Corps studies, which gets really complicated. I do think that the Post and Courier did a really good job of breaking things down in their article today in the paper. But bottom line is the perimeter protection that the mayor just referenced, talking about sea level rise and tidal flooding, really the main scope of that, and to get the federal funding, you need to withstand a 15-foot storm surge. I mean, that is the scope for that particular program. So I want to take a much more holistic approach and work with the other core study, not to complicate things, but it is complicated.
Gentlemen, thank you. I'll be back later with more viewer questions, but for now, more topics and more questions with Carolyn and Riley. Back to you.